welcome to my channel Gaga Knits. My name's Anita and I live in South Wales in the UK, and I wanted to pop on today, show you my finished make, and I'll put a video in here. I finished my jumper, the one I was knitting on, the worsted knife grinder's daughter jumper. It's very difficult to say that. So I was so excited, I sewed on all the ends and everything, and so I made a little video of that, so I'll put that in here so you can see my finished jumper. This is the worsted knife grinder's daughter's jumper. Just finished it, absolutely love it. This is Cascade 220 yarn, which is between a worsted and Aran weight, and I used 413 grams. It's just got a nice round neck and the ribbing all the way down the sleeve and down the body to a split hem. It's hard to show because it's so dark. If you were a new knitter, this is a really nice pattern. If you are new to knitting in the round, this one is perfect because you knit the rib back and forth, knit and purl like you would usually do for the front and back sections. Then you join them in the round and knit up the body. And I might actually do that on other jumpers that aren't designed to be knit like that, but you knit in the round, because it's much easier to join the two rib sections together and then start knitting in the round, rather than cast on lots of stitches and try not to twist them to join in the round. So you knit up and then you put some of the stitches on waste yarn, just the rib stitches, and then you knit the front with some short rows, and same for the back, and then join them at the shoulders, and then you knit the sleeves. And I made the sleeves a little bit longer because I like them just sort of onto my hand, nice and cozy, and I really like it. And this yarn is nice as well, although it's 100% Peruvian wool. It's not itchy at all. I haven't got anything on underneath and it's not itching me. Absolutely love it. And I really should have it on now, but I took it off because I thought I would film this later. But I'm having a go using my old Canon camera to see what the video is like and what the sound is like. So I might not even show this one, might not use this footage, but we'll give it a go anyway. And because I finished that, I've got a few projects lined up. And I want to say firstly, thank you to everyone who left comments on my last episode with help on my quilt, what backing to use and what wadding and things like that. So thank you very much. I have got an order from Empress Mills coming, and I will show you that when it arrives, for the backing. And thank you also for the sock patterns. I couldn't really find a cable DK sock pattern that I liked, and the whole reason why I wanted to find a pattern was for this yarn. My cousin Nikki had sent a couple of years ago, she sent it from Canada for me, and I just thought, isn't that the most delicious wintry colour, really Christmassy? And I wanted to make some socks out of that, and for some reason I thought it was DK, which it's not. And also I thought it was sock yarn, so it would have some nylon in, which it hasn't. So it isn't really fit for the purpose I had in mind. It's fingering non-superwash 2-ply, 100% Corriedale, and the colourway Ruby, and it's from the Small Bird Workshop. So if anyone has an idea of what I can use just one skein of this yarn for, obviously I can't use it for socks because there's no nylon in it, please let me know. I will come up with something, but it's such a nice colour. I could combine it with another yarn, but it's got quite a high twist, and I don't know if you have to then have the other yarn has to be the same kind of twist, if it would look silly if it wasn't. I'm not really up on these posher yarns. I've got a few and I'll show you some now, but yes, if you've got any ideas what I can use this for, I really appreciate it. So I have some patterns here. The first one was a suggestion from Penny from Penelope's Chinwag, so thank you for that, because I couldn't find any DK socks with cabling, and she told me about the Sailor's Rope DK socks, and that would be perfect. But now I don't have the DK yarn because that red was 2-ply, well, 2-ply and fingering. So I'm going to have to find some nice yarn for those. But well, that was 99p on Ravelry, that pattern. So if anyone wants a cheap sock pattern with cabling, I think it's a lovely pattern. Yeah, so you can use that. But I bought a pattern called the Wand Socks from Potter and Bloom, and I think this pattern was £3 on her website. I know people don't usually tell you the cost of the patterns and the cost of the yarn, but I mean, it does help sometimes, doesn't it, if you're having a look to see what you want to make. Now this pattern is 4-ply, and she says that she likes to use Drops Nord as it's a slightly thicker 4-ply, and because it's got alpaca in it, it's nice and fluffy and cosy. So of course I had to buy some yarn to make these, so I bought 2 balls of Drops Nord in red because I wanted some Christmassy socks. Here, that is lovely and soft, and it just says colour 14, and I bought this from a little shop called littlewoolshop.com. I don't know if it's a little shop, it says littlewool.com. I think it was eBay, so, but anyway, it came not, I was going to say it came really quickly, but it was dispatched quickly, but it didn't come quickly because we had a postal strike in the UK, and I knew it was in the Cardiff sorting office waiting to come, so it took a couple of extra days to come. But I can cast those ones on. And then I was watching Leslie from Not Quite Enough Yarns podcast, her latest one, and she had crocheted the most beautiful shawl, and it's called the Coles River Kerchief. Kerchief? All my patterns are printed out in black and white because I'm very frugal. And that takes 200g skeins of 4-ply. And I have 2 beautiful skeins from Cookston Crafts. The ball bands can come off that one. And it's all the purples and greens and a little bit of indigo. And I thought this would look rather nice with my new jumper or just with jeans in the winter. Not really wintry colours. And the colourway is actually spring pansy, but I think that will go nicely with jeans, and I wear a lot more jeans in the winter than in the summer or in the spring. So I'm going to have a go at a crocheted shawl. I'm not that brilliant at crochet, but this is such a lovely drapey shawl. You have to buy this pattern as well. I can't remember how much it was, and I think it was through a website rather than Ravelry. Yes, I'm looking forward to starting with that. And I've started another Pokemon because the boys were over on the weekend, and Jack was asking where was his Pikachu. So I am making the boys Pokemon toys from this book. And oh, it opens on the page because I've been working on it. This is Pikachu. and so far I have done that much, because every time I sat down when I was here, Jack was asking me to get on with it. This is Marriner DK acrylic in sunflower, and he said that would be alright, and then I've just got some black from Stash because that's all you need. And I think I am using a 4mm hook that Martin covered for me, but I'm not sure what the hook is. I think it's a 4mm because that was pretty much what I used to use when he made that hook for me. While I was rooting around in my yarn stash, I found this beautiful skein of yarn that I had from Crafty Cow's Creations in my advent calendar from her last year, and I realised I haven't made anything with that, and I was going to make my cable socks with it, but this is 4-ply and this is DK, so I'm going to have to find another pattern for this, and this is lovely and soft as well. And this is called Mistletoe and Wine, and it's 80% superfine merino, 10% cashmere and 10% nylon, so that's probably why it feels so lovely and soft. So that would be a really special pair of socks, but it feels so soft. I could perhaps make a shawl, just a small one. Yeah, so I really don't know what to, oh, I could make mittens, that would be nice. Nice and soft. So I'll have to see about that. It seems a bit of a waste to put them in, make socks and put them in boots or whatever for the winter. Beautiful yarn, very, very nice. So there are all my latest plans. So I've got to finish the Pikachu, and I've got some new knitting projects, and also I've got my jumper that I haven't shown you from the Susan Crawford's new book, and I will go and get everything for that and come back and show you. So I bought all the yarn ready, and I printed the pattern off, and it's the poppy, and there it is. Absolutely beautiful. I quite fancy having not such a high neckline, and I did do a Susan Crawford jumper, very similar shape. It was the twin set, the jumper, and it had a bit more of a scoop neck, so I'm going to see if the numbers are the same, and maybe I can just scoop it a bit and maybe make the colour work a little bit lower. And I wouldn't mind lengthening the sleeves a little bit, maybe 3/4 if I have enough yarn, so I'll have to see. So I do want to tweak it a little bit, but that's the pattern. But the yarns I want to use are the colours that, like I say, there was a lady on Instagram, I'll put a picture up to show you the jumper that she made. It's absolutely gorgeous, and the main colour that she used was Merino Blend, this biscuit colour, and the yarn is from, oh, it's King Cole, and it's superwash wool, and it's lovely and soft, Merino Blend, like I say, 4-ply, so that's the main colour. And then the colours to go with it are going to be these. See if I can hold them all up at the same time, and then I can tell you what the colours are. So the colour work is going to be in the Blossom and the Ivy, Cranberry and Chocolate. So if I can hold those, and then the main colour is going to be in the Biscuit. So if I can hold all of those and show you the picture, that is the plan. What do you think? I think that's going to be really nice. And the lady on Instagram, I think it's Knitting for Victory or 1940s, I'll put it underneath. Stunning work she has. If you don't follow her, I recommend following her, even if you don't like 1940 and 50s type knitwear. So that's all my plans. Got lots to be getting on with this autumn and winter, but the nights are drawing in, so there'll be more knitting time in front of the TV. Hope you're all keeping well, and are you watching any Vlogtober channels? I'm watching a couple. I'm trying to limit it. I watched Green Lambkin Yarns today, I shouldn't say favourites, but I also watch I Like Sarah from Yarn Mugs, and Davina from Little Workroom Crafts, and also Paula from Stitched by Mrs D. They're the ones I tend to be watching at the moment, I think. I think there's another one. What's the other one? Oh, Karen from Stitches and Jacks. How could I have forgotten Karen? I like hers as well. Until next time, who knows when that'll be. Happy knitting, and see you soon. Bye.